Hi, a lot of you might have come across the term called signaling. Now, how do we use signaling in economics and what is prevalent form of application in real world? Let's just try out a very standard example that you have some kind of a used market. It could be for cars, it could be laptops, it could be mobile phones, it could be anything which can be used again. But yes, if you use it again, its value drops down. So let's take the example of used car market. So let's say you have high quality used car and a low quality used car. Now, if the seller knows that whether it's high or low, so the seller requires some kind of a low value for a low type of car and high value for a high type of car. But what about the buyer? The buyer does not really know what kind of car is good or what kind of car is bad. So he will end up trying to offer an average price, average of high and low, right? Just for the sake of example, you can pick any number, 100 here, and let's say this is 20. Now I could have taken other numbers as well, but just for the sake of simplicity, taking 120. So the average here comes out to be how much? 60. So the buyer will like to pay only 60. Why? Because he does not know whether it's high type or low type car. Now the thing over here is, as the buyer is willing to pay 60, the high type of seller would stop being in the market, right? So he will exit the market. The moment this guy exits the market, you will only be left out with low cars, or rather I should say bad quality cars, and we can call them lemons as well. So the buyer now will reason it out. This will kind of happen, which means the buyer will soon form an expectation that I will only have low cars of value 20. So he will not offer 60. So he will really offer something around 20. So it goes on to say that in such kind of a scenario, when you have two kinds of goods, a higher quality good and a lower quality good, only and only the low quality goods end up being sold and the high quality goods do not get buyers and sellers, because the buyer is not willing to offer more for the high quality good, because the buyer is suffering from an asymmetric information problem here. The buyer does not know which car is high, which car is low, but the seller knows that which car is high, which car is low. Now what could be the solution for this? The solution for this is signaling. Now how exactly you can signal that you have a good car or a bad car, right? You can say that I will give you some kind of a warranty. I'll repair the car for you at no cost. So obviously if you have a good quality car, you will be willing to take that risk of offering free repair services to the buyer. But if you have a low quality car, you will know that a lot of your cars, or rather the car which you are offering to the buyer, will be definitely going to go through a repair process. So you will be less likely to offer that facility of free repair services after the sale has taken place. So a warranty kind of a thing will signal to the buyer that it's a high quality good. So this is where signaling helps. So this signal of warranty helps in the used car market, right? When you have to sell good quality and bad quality goods in the same market. Now, there's another example of signaling where the signaling is actually not helping the market. Now, let's understand that one, because that is the more prevalent and the more talked about signaling effect in real world. That is education. And how exactly is education going to play a role here? Let's say you have two types of workers. You have a high type of worker and a low type of worker. And when I say high and low, I mean the productivity wise. So I have a high productivity worker and a low productivity worker. Okay, so let's say I want to employ worker. I am a producer of goods. So if I employ a high productivity worker, obviously I'll get higher production and I'll have to pay higher wages, right? But if I employ a low productivity worker, I will have low productivity and I'll try to give lower wages. But let's say I don't know the productivity of a worker beforehand, before the hiring process is taken place. I will have to give them some kind of an average, just like this case over here which we are encountering, an average. But when you give average, the problem is the good quality worker lose interest and they will try to leave the market. So you will have a market failure and ultimately you will only have bad quality workers. What's the way to signal that you're a good quality worker? You can get education, and over here it implies that education can only be afforded by the good quality worker or the high productivity worker. Now, when I say it can be afforded, you have to understand that the cost of education is not only in terms of money, it is in terms of the time you invest, it is the amount of the hours you put in studying the books, you need, it is the kind of effort you take to clear the exams, and so on and so forth. So all kinds of economic costs are encountered in the education cost, and this is used as a signaling device. The problem here is this definitely gives the employer the idea that which kind of worker you are, a high productivity worker or low productivity worker, given that few conditions are met. So essentially education will not always be useful in separating out the good and bad quality workers, and specifically when this happens, when this signaling of education does that kind of effect, we name that as a separating equilibrium, and that is the advantage to the high productivity employee or high productivity worker. But that is a kind of a inefficiency in market, because our assumption is that the productivity was known beforehand, before getting into this education system. And obviously this is a very simplistic kind of an assumption, but let's just take it for the sake of example, that if education is not increasing a productivity, in that case education is just giving me a signaling cost and a signaling effect to just tell the employer that I'm a good quality worker, high productivity worker. So this is where signaling is kind of inefficient in the market. Now I hope you have understood the very basics of signaling and how it can help, or rather how it can make the market even inefficient at times. If you like these kinds of short explainer videos on common economic concepts, do hit like and subscribe, and also do share this video with your friends or with anyone you want to, because these economic principles are pretty prevalent, and if you know these things you will definitely think smartly.